Good night, everybody. Chance here. I'm just waiting on our special guests to show up here. And so that's basically what's going on. He's figuring out the Google Plus interface, which admittedly is not the easiest. Let's see if I can adjust the frame rate here, because this is pretty bad.
Hello?
I hear you. I don't know where I hear you or why I hear you, but I hear you.
Okay, well, that's better than where we were at.
Yeah,
Okay.
I definitely know it's you, because I was like, oh, that's the voice from the YouTube video.
What's up? I can see you. It says my camera's doing okay, but you can't see us still?
I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Gmail or Google Plus tabs open.
Oh, okay, I
I
got
was
you.
trying to find out why we couldn't see anything, and then I found out that Google Plus has a spam section that they say they put spammy-looking invites into, but they don't tell you where it is, and so I was looking for it, and I can't find it still.
Okay.
So that's why I was like, maybe we should just add each other to a circle, because then it won't think we're spamming each other.
Yeah, I get. The only way I found your invite was I went to your page. I was looking at your personal profile before. Then I went to your page and I saw like in your feed that you were streaming a video. So I just joined it.
So
I was
it
like,
actually
hey,
got
it's
the
got my
hang
name
of
on
it.
it.
There we go. Yeah,
So.
it took us a minute because it's counterintuitive and retarded.
Yeah, it took me forever to figure out the damn interface. So
I know, right? Like, it's Google. It's like you would think it's supposed to be simple, which is the reason I use Android over iPhone, and yet this is the biggest pain in the ass ever.
yeah, but
We made it.
yeah,
We
it's
made
all
it.
good.
It's all good. We're here.
Made
We
it,
made it.
and the important thing is now we both know how to work these things. Kind of. Sort of. A little bit.
Can you see our video?
Yeah.
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 Okay. So we are there.
We're literally coming from the open video pane where my Hangout was. So, like, I was like, wait, I don't see you. I clicked all these tabs, and I'm like, oh, wait, I have a window open. I wonder. Yep, there you are.
Okay, so we're in there. Is it like a giant picture of us? Like, because my
Basically,
entire
yeah.
screen is your face, so I imagine it's the same the other way.
Basically, what happens is every time, this is the cool thing about Hangouts Live. This is why a lot of the larger Hangouts with, like, big businesses will have everybody mute their mic while one person is talking, if it's like a big round robin thing. Because what Hangouts does on live Hangouts, which is really cool, is that whoever's talking is basically the big screen. And then everybody else sees everybody else's little screen. So, like, watch. If I stop talking and then you start.
Hello. We're talking now.
Is he gonna switch the pictures?
Yeah, now you're big screen, and see, now I'm big screen because I just opened my mouth. It's the coolest thing ever.
Oh, it's not doing it on my end.
Wait, no. Try double VE. What's that?
All right, let me just start
Click on the
clicking
arrow
stuff.
thing. No, that's
No.
not it.
That's
Ours
weird.
isn't cool like that yet.
As long as yours is working.
As long
fine.
as it's working, we're all good. We don't get it.
Yeah, no.
Are you getting any audio feedback? Speaking of muting and stuff.
You mean static or anything? No, it's good.
Okay, because I got you on speakers a little bit lower.
It usually is.
Okay. Do you want us to turn up our mic at all, or?
No, your mic's good. I can hear both of you really clear. I was just making sure that mine's not being as crappy as it usually is, because I'm just using my array mic. I was too
No, it's
lazy.
working good.
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Sounds good.
Good. Yeah. So now that we've got all that awkwardness out of the way, just because we might have people join in, but otherwise at the very end of this will be going on the YouTube channel. Big fat duh. Otherwise, why would I bother? Anyway, so hello everybody again. Chance is here, and I have some very special guests with me, as you can tell, because as I mentioned on Facebook about 1 billion times, I was planning on doing a review, and then lo and behold, thanks to the fact that I got a hold of Dustin, I now have the creators themselves here. So why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves a little bit?
Okay. Yeah. Hey. Hi. I'm Dustin Huffer, and this is Shawn.
Hello.
We're brothers, and we make video game controllers. The Hitbox is our baby, pretty much. We're just regular fighting game community guys, and we were stick modders, and we finally mod enough sticks to figure out that the micro switches and the sticks themselves aren't as good as the buttons, and kind of went from there and ended up making the Hitbox.
That's
Really short version of it, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
the short.
We were
short
super
version.
salty from losing,
Yeah,
so we started making our own sticks. Yeah.
We hate losing, so we made video game controllers.
and as far as that goes, it was the interesting thing. So I literally I found you guys by clicking. Like I got lost in the web rabbit hole. It essentially is what happened. I was clicking links and clicking links and clicking links, and then I saw a link to an article that had a picture of your old wooden prototype.
Yeah, the old school ones, yeah.
And somebody was reviewing it, and I was like, what is this? So I clicked it, because I was like,
Yeah, it probably... You want to see the really old school
You want to see
ones?
the old school stuff? Let's
got
see.
it with you? Oh, please.
Like some of the original prototypes are right here next to us. What do we got here? We got.
That's fantastic.
Oh yeah, this is.
This one has spray paint on it.
Yeah,
and
check
everything.
this one out, dude. It's like a wooden. This was for Nintendo and a PlayStation 1 and as the converter, but yeah.
Yeah, that's how we got started. This was like the original prototype. It was
That
supposed
is
to have,
sick.
it had 5 buttons on the left and the right, so that your fingers wouldn't have to move your hand at all. Was that it's so much better with the 8 buttons.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, your final design, while some people may argue against it, because the biggest argument I've seen against it is the whole down-up thing, and I will admit that took a while for me to get used to.
No, yeah, it's one of those deals where when you first look at it, you kind of go, why? But when you think about the way fighting games are made and the things you have to do to make something that can optimally achieve everything in a fighting game, because that's pretty much what the Hitbox is it's designed, like, people make general controllers for general games, but this is specifically made to do stuff in fighting games that,
So
like
it seems counterintuitive first, but the easiest way to think of it, of course, is ASD spacebar, like you're playing on a PC. Because if it was like an arrow, like if you were to think of it as arrow keys, like if you wanted to do try jumps in Marvel or a flash kick with Guile, like to do the down and up, or a pile driver with Zangief, like it just makes more sense to just use your whole hand instead of moving around, or like
really does.
with a pad you're using your thumb or your wrist with a joystick. Like everything is just super ergonomic.
Yeah,
So
no,
once you get it under your
once you wrap your mind around it, it's better. But it's always that initial. That's the real leap of understanding Hitbox, is learning how to use your left hand to do that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah, and I mean, like, I will say this much: it took me a long ass time. It did. Like, it took me probably 3 to 4 weeks to finally get my brain to accept. No, really, thumb jump, down jump, jump, and I literally just sat there and I was telling myself I would hit the down button and go down, and then I would hit the up button and go up, down, and I kept doing that over and over until my brain finally said, okay, fine, I get it. You're telling me to do things backwards.
Yeah, I mean, like honestly, it's weird. Like some people, when you're explaining them how to use the Hitbox for the first time, if you don't tell them it's the up button and you just tell them it's the jump button, they digest it a lot easier. It's weird. I don't understand quite why that works, but some people pick it up right away. Other people, it takes them a little longer. But everybody gets there, and it generally helps them in the end, but quite a bit.
It's comfy for you now, though, right?
Oh yeah, no. Now I literally super jumps, Blaze Blue. Nobody can super jump faster than me. Nobody.
Okay, good. We did our job then.
Done.
Makes is it good for the instant air dash and stuff?
Oh yeah. I am the only person in my circle of friends who really knows how to instant air dash in the first place, and then they look at me and they're just like, "You're dashing, air dashing, an inch off the ground. How are you doing that?" And I don't bother to explain to them I'm using nothing but buttons, because it's so funny to watch their consternation at the fact that I'm putting together links that are theoretically possible with the human hand on a normal controller would never pull off.
Yeah, just enjoy it, man. You don't need to justify it. Just hold that. That's all you gotta say.
Because I hear people cry, ban the hitbox at tournaments, and I'm just like,
they don't really.
want to ban the hitbox at tournaments because it gives hitbox players frame advantage if they're good fighting game players. Isn't that the same exact reason you use an arcade stick? So by
Yep.
your logic,
Exactly.
if we're going to ban the hitbox, let's ban your controller too, and then we'll all go back to playing on pad,
Yeah,
and all go back to fighting our controller as much as the player. That's it.
Yeah, people don't really think when they say that stuff. I mean, like that when we designed it, it was like, okay, we need to get it as perfect as possible without crossing the line, and that very close line of you're still doing every input manually with your bare hands. There's nothing's auto. Everything is super manual. It's just easier and more efficient.
Oh yeah. And I was like, when somebody first said that, and I commented back with that second comment, I was like, realize that I'm being sarcastic, and that my honest answer to your problem, air quotes, would be everybody gets hitboxes, and the TOs just finally accept that somebody's come along and designed a better controller.
That would be nice.
Yeah. Hurry up, everybody. Yeah, some people they're just kind of scared of it for no reason. Like I think if they do just jump around for a bit, they'd realize that
It's
I don't
better.
know. I mean, it has the potential to incite a lot of change in the way that people do what they've been doing for, 20, 30 years, however long Street Fighter's been around. So, I mean, it's understandable why some people would have a knee-jerk reaction to something that could change everything. It's understandable. But I think eventually it'll find its place in the fighting game community.
I would hope so, because I mean, like, really, I know you guys do get orders so much that you can't keep up with them all in a lot of instances. I was so lucky that when I jumped in, you didn't have a waiting list, and I literally ended up getting my hitbox like a week and a half later, and I was excited. But I'm aware that you guys have had waiting lists most of the time because you, as such a small company, just can't keep up with the demand that's occurring in the small
it's
fighting
still me and Shawn, and we're making it work. So we're doing our best, and we're kind of growing. And
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty much on this full time every day. So it's just for anybody watching that's waiting, we're working at it. We are. We're making them as quick as we can. So.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I think that's pretty phenomenal that you two are literally fulfilling every order that you get, which is why I think you're probably not too upset that you're not a gigantic, seller of sticks yet, because you're not ready for it. I don't think.
yeah, it's kind of one of those chicken before the egg things because you don't want to try and scale up too big or do the wrong step. We're just kind of making sure everything's moving up slowly and surely and until we win our first big major in a Capcom game. That's coming.
I am rooting for your guys' very small team. I believe there's Sora and Button. Who else we got?
The guy that's doing the most work is Tyrant in Injustice and Killer Instinct. That guy, he just took second at NEC in KI, so he's kicking some ass.
That's awesome.
And then,
Especially as an Injustice fan. I can't say I'm a KI fan yet because I'm literally kind of sort of unable to afford the console, but I will admit that out of all the games out there, the only one that would make me buy that crap console is KI.
Season 2 is pretty sick.
Yeah, that's and then there's also Godspeed.
Yeah, he's also doing work in Injustice and KI.
And then he also does commentary and stuff like that. We like his commentary. He does a lot of commentary lately as well. So.
Commentators are the greatest. Good commentators, at least. A good commentator makes the match. Even for those of us who understand it, a good commentator makes the match so much better.
Yeah, agreed for sure.
Or a good.
Missing anyone else?
What's that?
Yeah, that's the majority of it. I'm sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be me though. I'm keep training in Marvel. I haven't got it yet, but as soon as I get over the whole tournament jitter thing, I'll be a force to be reckoned with.
It's funny. He went to NEC and I think he didn't lose a single game of casuals there, but a tournament game wasn't there at all for him. So
yeah, that's the thing. It's like as much as we've designed the hitbox to be perfect, the other half of fighters is your brain and how well you handle stress and your decisions on the fly. That's what I'm working on because I've got the execution, but as far as reading people and keeping your cool, that's a whole nother story.
Oh yeah, like in casuals with my friends, like everybody admits that they don't like playing with me because they know they're going to lose. But the second it feels like a high pressure match to me, I'm just like, I'm out. Like
Yeah.
playing online even, just because I want to win so badly, I drop so many combos. I drop so many combos. Like combos I've practiced a million times. And I'm just like, I know this combo, I know the buttons, I know the timing. Why am I screwing up?
Yeah, it's
The
just
answer
your brain's ticking a little bit differently. Like some, I don't know whether you're supposed to treat casuals like they're tournament, or treat tournament like it's casuals, or treat every hit like it's your like you're on a pixel of health. I don't know, but
We'll come up with some tech for that.
yeah, I'll
too.
share you. We'll start selling
We'll put a
pills
box
or
on our
something.
put a box on our head that makes you see something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But, I don't know. We're getting way off subject, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just turning into my personal tournament problems.
But no. Like I appreciate it. I mean, I really think like
I'm
honestly,
sure it's something everybody can relate to in one way or another. You know.
yeah. I mean, as cool as the design of the device itself is, I think a big thing is that not a lot of people probably know the people behind it or the story behind why they do stuff. I mean, in my honest opinion, whoever makes whatever or does whatever, there's a story behind it, and I think that there's almost always a personal investment of some kind that is related to where such an idea would come from. I really do.
It's super personal for us, man. I still haven't won my major yet. I got the execution.
Well, I mean, because like we started out. We've been playing fighting games since we were kids, but when we started to get into competitive stuff, it was back in what 2006, 2007.
Yeah, Marvel 2.
Marvel 2. Like we would go to arcades, you know, like we lived in Southern California at the time, and we would go to like Regency Arcade, you know, and like there would be guys that sit there all day and play that game, and they were really great players. But on top of that, they'd have player one side and player two side. The stick wouldn't work all the way, you know. So I was like, you know, just ever since then, it's like I want a controller that works, you know, and then go from there.
I think we all do.
It was frustrating because not only were you new to the game and they'd been playing it for like 8 years at that point, but their controller worked and yours had like a joystick input that was missed or something like down back or who knows.
And you're wondering why am I not doing the thing that I know I should be doing? And then you realize,
And then
this
you go
is
home
why
and
they're
you go home super salty and practice and wonder.
broken one.
Yeah. Everything stems from that want to improve and you know like all fighting game players, that's we just want to improve and get better and love the games pretty much.
Yeah, like when we first started selling hitboxes, like we never, the original hitbox that probably you saw into the interview or whatever, the review, like that was just for me to win. like I showed up to SoCal Regionals, the first one, and was just playing TVC on it, and not, like we made it just for us to win. It's actually a real blessing that it turned into something that we can help other people out as well. So,
Well,
but mainly
so now it's a team effort.
mainly my execution wasn't so hot, so it just that's my main benefit. I'm like, it's great everybody else benefits, but my execution was just terrible. Like,
Hey, I'll admit one thing, which is that I would never have picked up Street Fighter were it not for two things: your hitbox and Maximilian dude. Like, I thought Street Fighter was boring because I looked at those input lists and then I looked at all the players who are like, it's the greatest fighting game series ever. And I'm just like, okay, just because you have more complicated inputs than the rest of every other fighting game does not make your game better. In fact, I would say that makes it worse because you're essentially saying, I can't make my fancy hand motion, so I can't play this game. And people are like, if a Capcom player played your games, we would destroy you. And I'm just like, whatever.
That whole, yeah. Who do you play in Street Fighter?
In Street Fighter, I play Evil Ryu, courtesy of Max playing Evil Ryu to start with, and he played him just because he seemed like an easy enough character to get the hang of, and he wasn't very good at Street Fighter 4. And so I ended up picking him because I realized very quickly, oh my god, it's just Akuma with Ryu's moveset. It's Akuma with the Demon Teleport and the Raging Demon and all that, but with Ryu's moveset and slightly better health.
Heck yeah.
Especially
it's cool to be on your list of reasons why you're playing Street Fighter. That's great to hear that we're on that list. That's kind of cool. Thank you so much.
I couldn't play Street Fighter with a pad if my life depended on it. I couldn't play any fighting game with a pad until that's the funniest thing is like I think I mentioned to you at one point, Dustin, when we were having one of our conversations, that I have cerebral palsy, and so that affects my fine motor control. Funny story. I swear that after I started really using the hitbox and got good at it, it seems like it's actually improved my fine motor control outside of using the hitbox. Because now I can play like Injustice on pad. I can't quite do all my fancy combos because some of them require the speed
Right.
and finesse that a hitbox grants you. But the other ones, the regular like, yeah, this should be doable on a pad if you don't suck. Like I can do that now. I need a decent pad, which means not a 360 pad. But I can do it. Like I have a Mocha controller, which is meant for Android, and I use the OnLive service to like stream the games. And I'm playing it on my phone, and people are looking at me like, "You're doing these crazy combos on OnLive. Like there's so much input delay." And I was like, "Yeah, but it's about as much as the input delay that comes out of Injustice Online normally because you have crappy netcode."
That makes a lot of sense.
It really, like, I would never do both. Like, when I'm playing on OnLive, I will clarify this. I don't play online because I've heard that the Steam version of Injustice has its own netcode issues that are very similar, if not worse, to the console versions. But I would never do both because the OnLive version obviously gives you input delay just because it's cloud streaming. And I would never put input delay on top of input delay, or I would just get hit because all my buttons wouldn't even come out.
Yeah, you might as well be psychic at that point.
Just do safe, meaty things in one player. Yeah, that's good. That's good that it's helping you, man. I'm really happy to hear that.
Yeah, because honestly, we're normally just busy doing our stuff, so we don't ever really get to talk to too many people, with the exception of some emails if we're lucky. So.
Yeah, no. When Dustin basically said, "Yeah, how's Tuesday sound?" I was like, "Whoa, that was okay." I actually secured an interview with at least one of the Huffer brothers by just asking, "How does that work?" Like I got something I wanted.
Don't put it like that.
It was fantastic. Like I can't believe I'm admitting this on video that's going to be recorded and put on the internet. But I literally kind of had an almost squeal moment when I got that text back from him. I was like, "Holy crap!"
Yeah, no, we're honored. We're honored.
But no, like I have to ask, were you ever like? I know this came out of your personal desire just to be better. But did you ever think you'd be hearing somebody like me basically saying, "Yeah, I have this condition that kind of interferes with my ability to do anything technical, and thanks to your device, it basically literally is the reason I don't suck." Because
it's something you never think. Like we always wanted to be super ergonomic and to be easy and foolproof, but to actually get the confirmation is
like
way
there
more
was
than we could ever have hoped.
There was the thought that it might be able to help, but as far as it was always like
we're just two guys. We don't know how to actually study that stuff. We just did whatever we saw was most ergonomic and like the smallest range of motion for everything, like to where people that normally can't do execution stuff, like that's like to actually make the difference.
Yeah, I mean, like I will admit that after I saw a certain fighting game player who you are probably familiar with, Broly Legs, and what he was doing, I was like, God, now I feel like I really sucked because I couldn't even play until I got a hitbox. This guy can't even use all of his limbs, and yet here he is playing Street Fighter with the #1 ranked Chun on 360 online with his mouth and like half of a hand.
Yeah, that's super impressive. I've seen that. He goes to majors, right? Is
yeah,
the same guy.
A few times.
Yeah, I've watched him play. It's amazing.
And he's the #1.
Inspiring.
It just blew my mind. I was like, this guy has like 10 times worse of a.
No more excuses. I can do this.
Yeah, I mean, like literally, that was the cool thing. Is like some people might be depressed about it, but I was like, nah. If you're getting depressed when you see something like that, then you're looking at it backwards. Like when I saw that, I was like, all right, I might have my issues, but I even have a hitbox now. There is no reason that I can't get good.
I was helping one customer who played with his foot, and I was like helping him learn slide technique and stuff. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, we were getting him to do 360s, huh?
Yeah,
That's
I
right.
was helping him do Zangief stuff. So you like roll with your left foot like your big toe. Because I don't know if you know about slide 360s, but like you can literally just go like that with your finger. So I was teaching, I taught him to do it with his foot, and it worked. It's like right to the light. It's pretty impressive. Like it's stuff like that's so inspiring. When you can overcome and like make it work.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, I think the people who are like, oh, that's making me feel so bad. I'm like, no, no, it shouldn't make you feel bad. It should motivate you to say,
Oh yeah.
if this guy with this situation can do it, then anybody can do it. I mean, really, like, that's even what Broly said multiple times. He's like, I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad or like I've got the worst situation ever because I know I don't. I'm just saying, though, I did it because I wanted to. And so that is literally the answer to how you do it. If you want it bad enough, you'll get it. And I was like, that.
Nothing else to add to that. Exactly, just that.
Like, what can you add to that?
Yeah.
But no, like literally, this device is probably the most counterintuitive at first glance. But once you get the hang of it, it not only just makes things in general easier, but like it literally, like I've said, improved my situation entirely. So as far as this goes, this, for those wondering, is what the current iteration of final product Hitboxes looks like. All shiny and red and black and badass. And this thing is slightly more expensive than your standard stick, but I think it's well worth the like $20 that you're spending more, I believe. Like this is the multi-console version, so I ended up with a really expensive one. But I think I've seen, sticks go for between $180 and $200 on average. So, and the difference in execution that I know I would never have been able to do with a standard stick, I was like, yeah, that's worth a $20 premium.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, it's literally this. Just to, like we were discussing this earlier, but in case anybody's not quite understanding what's going on here, so you'll see 4 red buttons and 8 black buttons here. These are the standard arcade layouts. So for 360, it is. Let's see if I can do this backwards. A is there, B is there. Your triggers are there. Your bumpers are up here, and X and Y are back here. This is up. Is the most at first glance, this is the most counterintuitive part. The big button, the only big button on the thing, is up, and these are left, down, and right.
Just think
that
of it
was
as
literally the hardest thing to adjust.
Or an up button. Because once you get your noggin around the jump button, there's nothing you can't do. Like anything you think, well, no, it'd be harder to do it with this. Like no, it's easier.
It's like no,
Trust me.
we went through that, and then for just coming up with the idea, we're like, well, what about? No, that still works really good. What? No, that still works. Thing is, the funnest thing about coming up with new ideas is trying to break them. So.
Oh yeah, like I think that's like half the principle, especially if you're talking about an actual physical thing, is how you know that you have the best, iteration possible. Is how many ways can I attempt to break this, and have I succeeded yet?
Yeah, just never stop doing the scientific method on it, man. Generally you just find that it's just so simple that there's an easy way to do whatever you think you can't do.
Oh
And
yeah,
if you still think there's not, then ask somebody. I'm sure you do all the shortcuts, right? With Evil Ryu.
I'm not familiar with all of them, but at least the ones that I am and have learned slowly, yeah, I haven't had any issues with it yet. I'm bad at plinking just because I don't quite understand entirely how the system. I understand what it does, and I understand like the definition, and I know a few of the basic ones, but I don't know all of the different. This can plink into this, and this can plink into this, and this can there's a million.
Links are always going to be tough no matter what.
Street Fighter in a nutshell. Pain in the ass. I mean, really, it's the only fighting game I've seen that uses standard links over a chain combo system, or as people prefer to call it when they're being all insulting, is a dial a combo.
Yeah, when you want to be condescending on, yeah. I don't know. I don't mind linking, but yeah, I still Marvel's my favorite game just because it's like it has a ton of tight links in there and difficult execution, but it just makes it easy on people to get started that just want to, go do ABC Super and fight their friends. Like to hit confirm into a Super in Street Fighter is like you gotta know what you're doing ahead of time. Just
You
to get
can't
started.
even hit confirm into some of the supers. Like obviously, Big Fat Duh example is the raid. Like okay, a couple of Japanese players found some examples where you can hit confirm into Raging Demon, but they're so difficult. Like it's meant to be a 0-frame grab, best used when your opponent's either jumping and gonna drop into it, or when they're being stupid. Like that's the best time to use a Raging Demon. But yeah, linking into Raging Demon's a pain.
Wait, you can actually combo into it? Is that what you're saying?
There's like 3 different ways you can link into it that some Japanese players have found. They're not 100% true links, but they're pretty much
That's
here's a
insane.
combo, and you're stunned enough that even though it won't count as a combo, here's my Raging Demon.
Then you can't hold jump and get out of it?
Nope. It was pretty fantastic. Like I saw that, I was like, did somebody do a not quite link
That
into
didn't
a
even register when
That
you said
didn't
it.
register.
I'd like to see that.
I'm just like, well, you can still do no matter what. It's like, oh, apparently not. Damn.
It's just like there's enough stun that essentially like they can start attempting a jump, but before they even clear the grab, because it's a 0-frame move, it's like one of the only 0-frame moves.
There's like 4 or 5 pre-jump frames in Street Fighter, right?
Right, but you
So-
can't be thrown to it. I'd have to see it because I just if it's Japanese tech, who knows what they came up with?
Japanese can do everything. I have learned this much. I was like, everybody's like, talking about how, well, we Americans beat them at this game and this game and this game. I'm like, yeah, because they don't bother to put time into it. Like, I'm sorry, if Injustice became big in Japan, we would lose.
That would be.
The way they treat video games and professional gamers is completely different, and the way that they address everything as a culture is completely different. Like they're all about precision and being the best, and
Well, it's always fun to see them fight. It's like then they fight an American Rufus, and just EG's throwing down, with the gutter reads. Man, I love it. It's so fun to watch.
Yeah.
oh yeah, I mean, everybody. There's a
America
reason
has its
for,
own
like,
style
after
that's very
Strike,
effective
everybody
as
still
well.
loves seeing Daigo versus Justin.
I like watching. I think one of my favorite matches of all time was probably the top 8 at Evo a couple years ago, where it was PR Rog versus Infiltration. I know he's Korean, but it's kind of a similar approach, where
Yeah.
like he had him beat with his like American style of just punch him, and then he changed over to Hakan with that counter pick and brought it all the way back. It's probably one of the greatest matches.
Yep. And then everybody will admit that like the Daigo Justin infamous Evo moment 37, which gets referenced in everything. Like I'm trying to remember the name of the anime. I think it's Achikochi. They reference Evo moment 37. It's the greatest
Wow.
thing ever. Like they're playing some random fighting game, and because it's not real anime, not paying licensing fees, big fat duh. But so they're playing some generic fighting game, and so it's supposed to be these 2 guys that are best friends, right? And so this little girl starts tugging on his shirt as they're getting ready to play, and then whispers something in his ear, and I was like, okay. And then they start playing, and it's showing the other guy's screen, and it's just literally like a pretty much verbatim look of Evo Moment 37. And then he's just like, what? How did you do that? Link into super combo? No, what? And then like he looks over and it's the little girl playing, and he's just like, when did you get that good? Sees her and then goes, it was you? And then she goes, uh-huh. And then he looks at him and then he goes, she asked to play. And it was literally just an Evo Moment 37 reference. So when my friend was showing me that anime, I literally jumped up and was like, Evo Moment number 37! And he just looked at me like, what?
Yeah, between it's either the Daigo parry or that Cyclops comeback Justin
that's
did.
another good one.
I'm sure that's gotten pretty much everybody. That's as far as like things that suck people into fighters. Like those are the two big things.
Yeah.
I know
like,
both those
everybody-
videos got me to be a lifer.
Hey, anything that gets more people into fighting games, I'm all for.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
it's
man.
very
Grow
small.
the scene.
It look big when we go to Evo, and it's, probably close to 5,000 people in the room at any given time. It looks big, but when you look at it, compared to the general community of gamers, we're pretty small. And I mean, like, we don't get the recognition that I think that all games, honestly, not all games quite, because I have some reservations about others, but I think that people need to start looking at professional gamers as not just people who are just lazy. It's like, no, we take this just as seriously as a professional chess player takes chess or a professional basketball player takes basketball. We do it because we love it, and it's not like we're asking for $7 million contracts that basketball players get.
Well,
I would just like to be able to make enough money from doing it if I were to go tournament. I'd like to know that if I placed moderately well in a tournament, I could pay some basic bills with the cut.
It's coming, man. That $500,000 payout for Capcom Cup next year. You hear about that? It's coming.
Yeah, it's slowly happening, and I see like the Dota 2 players, and their ever increasing international prize pot, which I was like, yes, yes, yes. I don't care what game it is, but it's showing respect for professional gamers. People are finally realizing that it's not because we're lazy or fat or wanna not live in our want to live in our parents' basement forever. It's because this is a new thing that is part of our
It's the
generation.
new sports, we're not all out in the backyard or in the street playing football anymore. We're inside playing video games. So it's just
Yeah,
the new pastime.
well, it's that group of people that in the past never had an avenue. That, like, let's face it, there's sports people in school, and then there's people that aren't necessarily good at sports, so they get a different avenue to compete. So it's a good thing overall. I mean, as far as professional gaming goes, I mean, when you look at the way actual sports is now, I mean, over the next 50 years, there's going to be tons of room for video games to grow and be accepted into the mainstream like that. So there's plenty of good things ahead, I think.
Which is an exciting prospect, and I firmly hope that the Hitbox is there for the ride. Speaking of which, I heard that you guys are supposed to get an update to firmware for PS4 compatibility at the least.
I've been talking with the guys at AkiShop. Right now, they're still stuck. The current 1.4 firmware that AkiShop has apparently works on PlayStation 4 for about 8 minutes, and then some sort of
timed out because of the wireless.
Yeah, so I think right now that's been slowed down.
There's been rumors that they're working on another solution, but they haven't officially, as far as I know, figured anything out yet. So I think there's still some hope there, but nothing's confirmed yet.
Yeah, I'm just hoping like Microsoft gets
we're
around to releasing an adapter for traditional controllers as well, because I'm at this point going to end up having to have a one at some point because I play Destiny now, and I got impatient and got it on 360 because I wanted it and I didn't have the money to afford a new console. I wanted to get a PS4 and do all my gaming from there because I think it's the better console at this point. But I got impatient and just bought the 360 edition, and so now my progress will only carry over to 1, but it's like, yeah. So I'm eventually going to get stuck in that boat when Microsoft finally stops supporting the 360, which everybody's saying they won't do, but they will have to do it eventually if they want to sell you.
Yeah.
Because most of us are not playing on 1 at this point because we can still play on our 360, and it's not worth it. And I just turned my Xbox on with this button. I keep forgetting I have it plugged in all the way over there because this cord is massive. Which I appreciate greatly. Like, you guys spared no length in making that cord. Like, here, have the longest cord we can get our hands on. Which is great.
So you're making a point to use every little bit of it?
Not necessarily. It's just my Xbox is literally over there, and so I'm over here, and I keep forgetting that it's actually plugged in. And I don't even have the full thing on. Like, it's not even wholly unwrapped because I keep about a third of it just coiled up because I don't ever need more length.
That's the way to do it.
It will be useful come the 8th, though, when I have surgery, because it means I'll be able to plug my Hitbox all the way in and have it stretched.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I'm perfectly happy with the fact that I have a massive cord. Everybody's like, that's going to be such a pain to deal with. I was like, not once you learn how to wrap it like efficiently. You can do it in about 2 minutes. It's not really that big of a deal. And I'd rather have the extra long cord so that it reaches than be like, oh, dear, I need to get a USB extender.
Okay.
But
We did a
yeah,
good
I mean,
job.
as far as this goes, I really think that you guys have kind of hit on a big thing. It's just people don't realize it's a big thing that you've hit on yet, or they're yelling about how it's a big thing in a bad way.
Yeah, it's going to be more of a test of time. Like we've been around for probably over 4 years now, and people at first everybody was threatened by it. Now everybody accepts the hitbox as being a viable option, and now people are going to start winning majors on them, and it's just going to grow from there. And we're the whole concept is new, and it's going to just grow as the whole concept of actual money being in esports and fighters is going to grow. So we're in for the long haul, and it's gonna keep growing and growing. So.
Well, I hope that you guys aren't having to dip into that ugly area known as the red to keep going for the long haul. So that would be my hope, is that at the very least you guys stay in the black long enough that you don't have to.
Yeah, no, we're doing all right. We're doing all right. We're not growing leaps and bounds, but we're moving forward. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, one of the things, like, if you start a business, you just basically keep reinvesting in anything that you make, to really keep it growing and keep customers happy and things like that. It's a constant reinvestment.
Yeah, because like you said, that extra $20 or whatever, it goes straight back into growing and getting the word out.
Yeah, and improving the hitbox in any way we can, or just there's so many different aspects. Like we started the hitbox kind of by accident, really, as you kind of could tell from earlier. And learning learning everything. On how to run a business when you're actually running your first business takes a lot.
Oh yeah, I'm dealing with that lesson myself in a very not related to gaming at all way. But I started my own small LLC to do with sort of opening up a communication avenue between people who do and don't have disabilities, because I don't think those of us with and without them communicate enough or clearly enough. Because I think most of the reason that people insult us, or whether it's accidental or on purpose or whatever, they do it mostly because they don't know and they're afraid to ask. Because nobody wants to ask that stupid question in their head that's stupid and make themselves feel like they look stupid.
That's a really great idea, man.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Yeah, and so that I understand at least a portion of the whole concept of learning how one's first business is supposed to work. Because I mean, really right now, I have an idea and I don't have a model. I own the license and everything, but I haven't done anything yet because other than working on programming the website, because I just don't know exactly how to make it function yet. I mean, I'm not going to pretend that I have a business degree or even went to business school. I just was like, this is an idea. I think
But the important thing is you got a good idea.
Yeah.
And that's all you really need. I mean, yeah, it takes all the blood, sweat, and tears, yada yada. But that stuff's for real. But you can do it because you got.
The School of Hard Knocks will teach you everything you need to know. So
I almost feel tempted to steal that one and just be like, oh, don't know this thing? Go to School of Hard Knocks.
it's
free
pretty much, yeah.
Well, the School of Hard Knocks will come to you is the real thing. So it can be rough sometimes, but it's always worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I seeing you guys, get. I mean, obviously, I don't hear a whole million things about you guys terribly often, other than the fact that I kind of follow you specifically because of my interest in this thing from the minute I saw it. But otherwise, it's not like, of course, I'm not going to see you guys as much as Mad Catz, because Mad Catz is a corporation that is, making more than just fight sticks. And they're making a lot of stuff. But the fact that I still see you guys around, in the news, and other than that, other stuff like that, I'm just like, yay, they're still alive. The company's still alive. Makes me happy. Because I firmly will tell you this much. If my hitbox ever broke because I had a stupid with it or got caught in a rainstorm or whatever, I would immediately be like, all right, I need to replace this ASAP. I don't want to not have my hitbox. It would make me sad.
I gotta admit, I've never had anybody tell me that their hitbox broke because they were caught in a rainstorm. So that was.
My situation with rainstorms is literally, it seems to happen. I'll see rain clouds, be like, okay, I gotta go get inside to the nearest, place I can. And then the rain clouds open up right outside of the building and dump on me specifically. I have had a couple of controllers that were in backpacks that were on the back of my wheelchair short out because like I got caught in a rainstorm that just decided I'm gonna open up right now over your head in a torrential downpour.
The minute that happens, give me a shout, man.
Let us know. We'll help you out.
It was crazy. I was like, this really again? Why? Why?
Like those Garfield cartoons or whatever with the personal rain cloud or...
Sometimes it feels that way.
Maybe we could like put in an umbrella extender on the back of your hitbox or something. You know, it's pretty awesome.
That would be epic. You like
everybody be like,
hitbox?
what's that on the back of your hitbox? It just goes, you know, one of those extendo umbrellas.
Go gadget.
Yeah.
That'd be sick. It would look weird to people, but eventually they'd realize, no, I'm just a genius because I can literally put my Xbox outside in a rainstorm if I wanna.
Because I'm prepared like that.
I'm prepared like that. Yeah.
Boss.
Yeah,
I mean, that's literally like this. I'm hoping people look at and really sort of see that you know the people behind this thing are not some greedy, you know, corporation going, let's make this new thing that we think will make us a lot of money. This is a couple of normal guys who do what the rest of us normal guys do, and wanted to get better at that very thing that we do, and so you came up with an idea, and then it turned out that people wanted to buy it, so you turned to production.
That is the American dream right there, man. We're going after it. So,
we're really lucky.
Yeah, it's been super awesome, and it's continuing to do so as we grow and keep learning as we go.
Yeah.
So, but I still consider myself a gamer before a business person. That's for damn sure. Which is probably to a fault, but we're making it work.
No, that's not necessarily a bad thing because we all know what happens when you consider yourself a business.
Yeah, that's the last thing I ever really want to be. Yeah.
Not naming any names, pointing any fingers. Activision. I'm sorry, but everybody's yelling at Bungie that content got cut, like the DLC that just came out, and I'm thinking, we're yelling at Bungie. I think we're yelling at the wrong people. Maybe we should look upstairs to the people who published the game, who publish a certain shooter series that does the same exact thing and puts stuff behind paywalls. Coincidence? No. Tell me I'm wrong, please. Tell me I am wrong.
I can't say nothing. You're absolutely. It's like you could do an expose on it. It'd be what's really happening at.
Jeez, you guys are great. I really hope that either you make it out to Saltfest again, or I make it out to Evo at some point, so that we can, at the very least, I can get my butt kicked by both of you.
I'm Street Fighter, so. But yeah, we'll definitely throw down. Yeah, you should just hit me up anytime. I'm down.
If you haven't been to Evo, you got to get to Evo.
Go to Evo.
I wanted to last year, but a combination of me wondering about how, you know, whether I could get the money, and then going, am I really even ready to go to Evo?
Don't worry about that. No, I don't care how ready you are. You're gonna get your ass kicked at your first Evo.
Honestly, it's a one of a kind experience, and if anything, it tells you the direction. Like, you go to Evo, let's say you do okay, you go, you get your ass kicked, you go, you do really good. No matter what, you put yourself to that test that tells you what direction you need to go, where you're weak, where you're strong. You know, those are things that you really need to know that you can only find by putting yourself to the ultimate gamer test, really, which is kind of what Evo is.
Yeah, for fighting game players at least. And not to mention, you know, you can beat people online, but even online, like, there's a lot of things that you might think work that don't, because netcode tells you they work.
Plus, there's just a totally different psychology of, you know, let's face it, the trolls online in real life aren't necessarily as trolly. So sometimes they don't play trolly. You know, it just depends. You learn a lot.
Yeah, I mean, like it's the funniest thing in the world. I was playing Injustice last night on stream because I just got set up so that I can actually use my Twitch account, which is cool. So I was playing Injustice last night on stream, and I was playing in a King of the Hill room with like 5 people, and this one guy, I'm probably like the last person who like plays Scorpion in more than I'm gonna pick Scorpion because you're picking Scorpion, and I'm gonna show you that I can do it better. I'm literally the only person I think left, at least on Xbox Live, that mains Scorpion because he is in his own little tier at the very, 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 very bottom now.
You got dealt with.
And so I main Scorpion, and this guy kept picking Scorpion, and he beat me a couple of times in a row, and I realized very quickly he's beating me because he's using the crappy netcode to his advantage. He's teleporting as soon as I go for my forward medium. I can't go for forward medium when we're in neutral because he's just going to teleport and use the fact that because of the netcode I can't block fast enough. Where normally I would be able to crouch and block that teleport. So I stopped doing it, and then I finally started just being a bit of I wouldn't spam the teleport back because I don't believe in doing that or doing things that'll only work online because it'll give you bad habits. But I just started being a bit more of I would like neutral jump, I would let him teleport, and I would neutral jump and then heavy as I was coming down. And it would knock him to the ground, and then the next thing I know, he would go to do stuff, and I would like meter burn Hellfire to cancel his wake up, and then I'd grab him.
Nice. Download complete.
Rage quit. I made the guy rage quit. It made me the happiest I had been that whole night. I was like, I made you rage quit. Suck it.
You know, that's not all that different. I mean, yeah, online tactics are online tactics, but it's that same sort of satisfaction when the dude's next to you and he's hella mad. It's the same thing. Sometimes people, they'll like be botting you, and then you're like, oh, he's just doing this, and then you know, then you get all smug, and he gets all like, you get to enjoy the body language because they're right next to you.
The real trick is just not getting frustrated yourself in the process of figuring them out, and it's really hard sometimes.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, I would like to play in even a small tournament and just against other people because it would be the first chance I'd get to show other human beings a combo that I'm pretty sure nobody else has. I mean, I haven't seen it anywhere, but a combo that I'm pretty sure nobody else would bother to attempt because it doesn't seem possible. But I thought, I have a hitbox. I can make the possible or the impossible possible. I'm gonna do this. I found out you can do two, like, immediately after one another. If you have the right setup, you can do 2 jump heavies with Scorpion in a row. So I literally, like, meter burn back 3 to counter somebody who's going to punch me, and the armor cancels that hit, and then I bounce them away, and then I forward jump 3, and then straight back up jump 3. You have to do it very specifically. I found out. You forward jump at the height of them coming back, you jump 3, and then you hit the ground, and as soon as you touch the ground, you straight jump up in the air and then jump 3 again, and then I can teleport off of that and then do a bunch of other little hits, and it's I mean, like, you can't do it online because the netcode sucks so bad. Like, there's too much lag.
I'm not sure. Is Injustice going to be at EVO this year?
I don't think they've announced their roster yet, so
I'm not sure if they have or not.
Hope so.
Yeah,
I would hope so, because like everybody's going, well, it plays the same as Mortal Kombat. It's like, I play both games. They do not play.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have.
They better have at least one NRS game.
They're going to have MKX there, I'm sure of it, because that's a new game. So, you know, hopefully they'll have Injustice as well. If you get the chance, man, you should definitely.
They plan to have Injustice 2 come out, but it's obviously not out yet, and they do play differently. I mean, I'm super stoked that MKX is going to be there because I have the last gen version reserved, and I've heard that they're not doing the work for the last gen version itself, which makes me kind of nervous, but hopefully we'll see some more news on the last gen versions to figure out how much different it's going to be. If it just turns out to be a graphics downgrade, that's not going to make me cry that much.
As long as it plays smooth, that's all that matters.
Right, and I mean, like, I'd love to learn the game because it looks super cool, like the variations bit, where every character has those 3 variations that kind of sort of make them like 2.5 characters in one, which is interesting. I don't think I've ever seen anything other than like the Capcom versus games I know have that groove system.
That extra customization, yeah. That'll be good though. That'll make character loyalists actually have some more options for just hard counters, which is always good.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, I literally play Baraka, Scorpion, and Katana in that order of preference. But I started playing Scorpion more than Baraka at one point because even though everybody says Scorpion sucks in MK, which he kind of does, but even though he kind of is less less than usable, I've learned better combos with him than Baraka. Because most of Baraka's combos are not terribly long or damage-inducing that I know and have the ability to execute. So I switched to playing Scorpion slightly more, and Kitana's my third option, but I'm not able to do all the ridiculously fancy stuff that she has. I just know some basic, basic stuff, and I play more to the strength of knowing that I have not got all the fancy tech down and just being patient and getting what I do know in when I can get it in.
Yeah, it's not always about the tech. It's just about keeping your cool in the mind games.
Yeah, I mean, the mind games are half of the game, let's be honest. Like, if you can trick somebody into doing something, even if it takes like a round or two, like, you definitely don't want to be that guy in the hot seat, but if it's what's necessary to get you the win, sometimes taking the risk of going, yeah, I'm going to be the guy in the elimination hot seat so that I can condition this guy to do this one thing, and then when he's conditioned to do it, I'll just beat him.
Make your move.
It's its own special type of satisfaction when you can pull something like that off, for sure.
Oh yeah, I did it against another player that was in the lobby for that King of the Hill lobby that I was playing in, because I got him to the point where he would just crouch at the beginning of every match, and he waited for me to make a move, because he knew that if I teleported, it'd go over his head, and then he'd just hit me as I came back down. And so I got him conditioned to crouch, and once I realized that's all he was going to do, I just was like, I'll open up the game with a couple of hellfires, like straight up on the ground, and he'll take like 16% damage. And then he'll realize that I have a counter to his crouching, and he'll stop crouching, but that's when I'll beat him, because I have better tech once he's standing. And it worked. I lost 3 times in a row to him, but it got him to make the mistake of thinking that I was just going to go ham once the round started. And so I was like, nope, have a hellfire. Oh, look, another one. How's that feel? And it worked. And it was funny, because you know how there's that voting system in King of the Hill lobbies with Injustice? Or are you familiar with the voting
I
system?
haven't played Injustice Online.
We haven't played almost anything online for a long time. We're so stuck in the actual.
They were actually like Vegas has a pretty good scene, so most everything I do is offline.
As opposed to here, where we have like nothing, and whenever I meet somebody who just casually says, yeah, I really like fighting games, I'm just like, oh my goodness, somebody in Utah likes fighting games, and I freak out. Because it's just like, it's a thing, and I'm just like, there's no, like, the only major event we have is Saltfest that I'm aware of. Like, the only thing that you'll actually get people coming to. And so I'm literally, like, kind of got this, like, vague idea in the back of my mind that I want to start a group and sort of end up making a crew from Salt Lake and the surrounding area, and be like, yeah, that's right, Utah has a fighting game crew now. Deal with it.
Nice. You should plan on going to Evo, even if you're not sure about the funds. Just plan on going.
As long as you'll be there, and I'm assuming very likely that Daigo-sama himself will be there, because he's usually there.
Everyone's there, and
There's a reason enough to go right there. Like, basically, I think it would be the funniest thing ever. Like, having done this, like me walk up to you guys and be like, yo, Dustin, Shawn, what's up? And then everybody's looking at me like, some dude just walked up to these guys like he knows them. And it's like, kind of do.
It's kind of like the equivalent of going to a basketball game, except nobody's sitting. They're just walking around the court while they play, and then you're just walking into like Michael Jordan all the time. You're just like, oh, there's Michael Jordan over there.
Pretty much, because I mean, like, that's the cool thing too. Is I mean, most of, not all, but most of even the high level players are super chill. And if some new guy comes up and says, yo, this is my first tournament. Can I get some pointers, or like, would you sit down and, I mean, even if it was just like, you're my idol, sit down and play me, please, I'm begging. And most of them probably would just be like, yeah, let's do a couple.
A lot of them are super cool about it.
There's a lot of them that are cool about it. Sometimes they're busy because they're playing like 10 different tournaments at the same time. But if you catch them at the right time, they'll always at least give you a pointer or two.
Yeah, and I mean, like, the cool thing too is, I mean, like, cross counter, which Gutex and I believe Mike Ross helped start with him. I know that they work together now, but I'm pretty sure they started it together because they're like best friends. But like Gutex and Mike Ross started that Cross Counter TV, and they actually have a page where they essentially sell you the services of a top player. They have like 5 players. They've got like Justin and K
Kind of like
Brad
the tutor thing.
and a couple others, and you literally like you get an online training session with any one of them that you so choose, which is crazy. Like just that, I was like, holy, and $50 for like an hour with one of the best players in numerous games. Like, hello, why would you turn that down if you got the $50 to drop?
Okay, 1 sec.
What was that?
Okay. Oh,
Yeah, we gotta do shipping. One second.
yeah. We might actually have to cut it a little short just because we got to go run to the post office and finish a few errands before it gets too late.
Oh yeah, no, you're good.
Get all the hit boxes for the day out.
Yeah, it's almost 6. So yeah, for you. For me, it's almost 7.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was understandable, and that this has been fantastic, and I really appreciate the taking the time out to do it, and being really chill about it, because like.
No, man, it's a pleasure. Sorry, I'm not as because like I think you caught me at the right time. It's been I've been getting over being sick a little bit this week, so I've got some extra time. So, anytime, just hit me up and we can do this again. Even it's no
For
big deal.
sure. I mean, like, if you're ever interested in doing an online match, I don't know if you have. Do you play on Xbox or PlayStation?
The only game I've been playing online right now is Street Fighter on Steam. So if you got
I
it
want
on,
to get that eventually. Like, once I can get a computer that'll decently run it. Because almost all my Steam games that I own because they're doable via Cloudlift. And definitely, if OnLive were to add it to Cloudlift, I would give it a shot and see just how bad the lag got between input delays from cloud streaming and input delays from the internet. And if it wasn't too terrible, I might be mildly interested. You'll probably body me because like my most sophisticated combos are like 6 hits long.
I to be honest, like I'm such a, like I do all these tech videos for inputs and stuff, but like I don't play it very often. So most of my game is just all barely any combos. It's just all neutral. Like I'll play Dulcim and Guile and stuff and just play the most simple game ever.
Hey, you can't even like I'm not even gonna take offense to that. Like my literal best thing that I've ever done, because I play Arcade Edition on Xbox right now, because I know I'm not good enough to upgrade to Ultra where everybody's at. So I play with the stragglers that are still in Arcade Edition, and literally the best thing I do is I literally just demon teleport into tick throw, and it works. Like they'll go for it, and like they'll think like I'll do a certain teleport, like the short or the long, so that they'll start thinking I'm doing the short or the long, and then I'll switch it and end up on the other side of them and just tick throw, and they're just like, you son of a, and I'm just like,
I'll do it again too. You just wait.
free damage. It's free damage. Like if they don't tech your grab, like why would you stop?
Yeah, just keep doing it. They gotta adjust, not you.
It's like stop doing that. There is this thing
It's always
called
the worst when you give people too much credit and then you don't do the same disrespectful mix-up and then it doesn't work because you didn't do the same cheese on them and you're like, oh.
I mean, like, literally, like, people are like, why do you grab so much? Quit grabbing everybody. And I'm just like, I'm going to do it until it stops working. And that is my philosophy with everything. If I find something that's working against you, I will stop doing it when you show me, hey, this isn't going to work on me anymore because I know what you're going to do. And I would expect anybody else to do the same thing. Like, why would I essentially give you the match for free by not playing the way that I know that I'm going to win? And that's the adjustment that a lot of non-fighting game players have to make, is that in the fighting game community, our game doesn't walk you through and baby you into feeling like an awesome person or an awesome player. Either you're good or you need to get better. Not saying you can't play. There's no or you suck and you can't play. There is either you're good or you just need to get better. And there is no cheapness. I don't care how many people say you're just spamming Hadokens. It's like, yep, it's called zoning. There's a difference between spamming, which is ineffective attempting at zoning, and actual zoning, which is, yes, I'm throwing a lot of fireballs at you, but it's designed for a specific purpose.
That stops you from growing if you people that think like that. That's like the scrub mentality.
Seriously, and I mean, like, I was scrubbish as far as my skill level went, but you know why I'm better now?
Scrub
you know what,
skill level with the mindset, it's
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely a mindset than a skill level.
like there's beginners and then there's scrubs. They're completely different. Like if you're new to a game, that doesn't mean you're a scrub. Scrubs like refuse to acknowledge what they need to do to get better, and they just make excuses or whatever. It's
yeah. I literally like that's why I have a joking bit on my Google Plus page. Like the description of my page is literally 21 years old, name's Chance, love fighting games, will proudly claim the title King of Scrubs. And it's totally like a sort of joke because I know that people in the fighting game community will get it. And it's fantastic.
All right, dude. Well, I gotta go finish out my day, but anytime, just hit us up.
Yeah, people are going to be angry if we don't ship them out their hitboxes today. So,
Yeah, I can imagine. Like, yeah, especially with some of the people that I've seen on your like on your pages and on your threads in Shoryuken going, "Where's my hitbox? I've been waiting for 6 months."
yeah. Well, I mean, right now, everybody's wanting them in time for Christmas and other holidays. So, and I think the post office closes pretty soon. So
Yeah, we gotta go across town to the one that stays open a little bit later. So.
Yeah. And we always dump like a ton of packages on them, and they're just never happy.
I don't think any post office is very happy with small businesses that deliver packages because they're like, great, now we have to deal with how many is this?
It's just like, hi there, here's all my stuff, and you just bring them a whole bunch of stuff, and they're just like, okay.
Yeah. Thanks much.
No, shout outs to the post office, though. If you're watching post office, you're doing a good job.
We're sorry.
We're sorry. And to anybody else we haven't apologized to, we're sorry for that too, whatever it might be. I don't know.
Yeah, no, and if you like, I'll definitely send you guys both the link to this once I've got it posted, so you can pop it around if you so choose.
Sure, yeah.
That'd be great.
Link to your page and all that stuff. Love to see it.
Yeah, will do.
And also, good luck on your business as well, man. Just go after it.
Yeah, it sounds like you've got a really solid idea, so I'm curious to see what you could do with it.
Sure, and I appreciate that compliment and that push of support from you guys. And hopefully I will get the chance to see you guys at EVO or Salt Fest.
Let's plan on both. But if anything, one will do. But yeah, man, try to make it out, and we'll try to make it out to Salt Lake as well.
Definitely, I'd love to do that. That'd be super cool. And thanks again for doing this.
Hey, thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
No problem.
All right. Guess I'll let you guys head out, and then I'll just close this up really quick. Get it on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hit the X button, so I hope I don't just. This
oh no! Like, I believe as long as you guys are the only ones closing out, like since I'm hosting the Hangout, it should stay open.
Okay.
Okay.
So Google could have decided that it was going to be even more sadistic, for all I know.
Oh wait, no, I see a little phone button.
Oh wow.
All right, I'm gonna do this official then.
Bye.
All right, we'll see you later. Thanks again.
Yeah, thanks. All right, so that was a bit extensive, but I hope you guys enjoyed that. Those of you who end up watching this, and if you could, please do leave comments in there and thank Dustin and Shawn for doing this and taking so much time out of their day when they are busy. They run a business, and here I am, some relatively new YouTuber, and I do have some slight acquaintance with them over the last year, but I really appreciate them doing this. So if you guys can just leave comments, they probably will see, because like I said, I'll be giving them the link. So if you can leave some just thank yous and whatnot for the Huffer brothers there, that'd be fantastic, because this is a big thing for them to do, to be willing to do this for me and with me, I should say, really. But that's essentially, you just got to meet the creators of the Hitbox. And as far as my personal stake on this controller, this is a very solid product. It's made very high quality, and plexiglass and metal, and official, genuine Japanese Sanwa buttons. So there's like no sensitivity, not sensitivity, like no threshold really. You can press the button like this much and it works. It does take some getting used to, like we've addressed with the down up thing. But once you got the hang of that, like we've all discussed, it really kind of it's something else. Like, you realize that you can do these things that you didn't think you'd be able to do before because you weren't good enough or whatever. But overall, very solid. And as far as my pricing knowledge goes, I believe that the regular PS3/PC version of the Hitbox is $160. And that the multi-console version, which I have here, that works on PS3, 360, and PC, with hopefully attempts to try to get it patched into the new generation of consoles. Based on the sound of it, they're trying, but they're working with the people who manufacture the boards, and the people who manufacture the boards are kind of running into some obstacles. But hopefully they'll plan. You know, the Huffer brothers definitely really want to update the current hitboxes if they can, as opposed to having to construct a whole new set, because that's time, that's money, and then, you know, everybody who has a hitbox would essentially have to buy another hitbox. But yeah, as far as next gen goes, that is an objective on the list of both the Huffer brothers and of Aki Shop, who produces the boards for the hitboxes. But in conclusion, basically, if you feel like, you know, your execution is bad or not great in fighting games, but it's just because the controller, like if you feel like you're fighting your controller more than your lack of knowledge, look at the Hitbox. It's a very solid option, and it is tournament legal in pretty much every tournament that I've seen. They haven't banned the Hitbox, especially because the Huffer brothers installed an SOCD cleaner that literally basically means that when you push left and right, it's neutral, and when you push down and up at the same time, it is up. So you can't block both directions or anything like that. So there's nothing broken or cheap or modded about it. It's literally just a controller with buttons, and it works. So if you're questioning whether or not, you know, you think you can do well, or you feel like you've plateaued on your current input device, and that it feels more like the input device fighting you than just not knowing what to do, take a look at the Hitbox. And you can go ahead and look at that on their website, which is just hitboxarcade.com. I'll leave a link in the description, and I will leave a couple other links in the description as well to other different things, including some other reviews or articles that I found. And all in all, I hope you all enjoyed this extensive, kind of personal interview with Dustin and Shawn, and have a great day, everybody.